Bem-vindos à Sociedade das Nações, um programa semanal sobre a atualidade internacional aqui na SIC Notícias. O nosso convidado desta semana é Dom Luís Sako, o Arcebispo de Kirkuk, no Iraque. Arcebispo da comunidade caldeia católica, uma das mais antigas comunidades cristãs do mundo inteiro. Archbishop, welcome to the program. Thank you for being with us. From the point of view of the Christians in Iraq, the invasion which led to the toppling of Saddam Hussein was not very good news.
Well, the war is always something bad, not only for Christians, but for every human being. And the change of the regime was, I think, important. From a dictatorship, no freedom, there was security, but everything was controlled, to democracy, but with war, destroying everything. It is bad. If we want a change, we have to form people for that. We have to form people to democracy, to freedom, to respect each others, but from theocracy, I mean an Islamic regime to a free regime, it is not easy. Therefore, many problems.
There has been violence, of course, huge violence in Iraq against the Shiite, against the Sunni, and also against the Christians. Do you feel that the Christians are being particularly targeted, or is it just a violent situation in general?
It is a confusion, because there is a vacuum of security. They started Sunni and Shi'i. This is a new mentality in Iraq of
sectarian.
Sectarian mentality. But that there is a fighting to have the power, but also the money, the oil between them, because Sunni ruled Iraq for centuries, and now Shi'i are ruling them. Christians are targeted from the fundamentalist Muslim because they are assimilated with American because of religion. But also they think that the way or the solution for the country is an Islamic state with Islamic law as it was in the 7th century, and also it doesn't work, But Iraqi by nature are moderate. These fundamentalists came from abroad. But there is also other group who is attacking Christians and also others. The criminals, a kind of mafia to get money. And they think also that Christians could be kidnapped and they can't pay because no Muslim, their position is legal. Also, there is a political factor because of the big political groups or parties. They are pushing Christians to stand with them, sometimes attacking them, selling a message. So if you are not with us, you have no salvation.
Martin said that your church is one of the oldest in the Middle East, and Christian communities in the Middle East are the second organized faith after Jewish and Judaism. But the history of the Christian communities is one of suffering and of oppression and of destruction. And we saw that very recently where you had prelates from your church killed, kidnapped, disappeared. How is your day-to-day life? I mean, is it a risky one? When you wake up, do you know what's going to happen in the rest of the day? I mean,
it is not so dangerous because propaganda is something else. We are walking, we are going to our work, to the schools, universities. Some quarters are dangerous, but now it is very limited. And all Iraqis are not violent and not criminals, and good people. I mean, I think the basis is not bad. But normally the life is...
But is there a difference between the place where you are and Kurdistan in general and the south of Iraq? Is there a difference?
Yeah, of course. I think the two cities dangerous cities is Baghdad and Mosul. Mosul more for Christians. Baghdad now less. Kirkuk is normally calm.
How is the relationship between the Christian community and the Kurds in general?
It is very friendly because, you know, many Christians were living in Kurdistan. Originally, they are from those villages. Now they are back because of the persecution. But they know the mentality, the language, and so on. So they are native of that.
The question of Martin in the beginning was the war bad news? Because there is another problem. For some people, the Christians during Saddam Hussein were not touched, were not badly treated. We even say that Tariq Aziz was a Christian. Is it true? Was there a Christian support for the regime of Saddam?
No, I don't think so, because we have had problems also, and also operations during the old regime. There was Tariq Aziz, but today we have more people in the parliament and also in the government. We cannot compare. In that time, the security was absolute, because that, you know, the army and the police and the security police were watching, controlling everything, even the air. You could not travel, you cannot criticize, you cannot publish a book, but now you can do whatever you want. The only problem for Iraq today is security. I know that without security there is no life.
But and I take your point that there was peace amongst the various religions during Saddam Hussein's regime. But if you look a little bit at the wider Middle East, for centuries, Christians and Muslims lived together, and then there was fighting, and then they lived together. What we see now is in countries like Egypt, for example, there has been anti-Christian violence in Egypt. In Syria, the situation is also relatively unstable. Do you interpret this as Islam against Christianity, or do you think it's just the work of extremists?
No, I don't think so. I think it is linked with a narrow reading of Islam in itself. The Quran. The Quran should be read in a new way, to put the text in its own context, historic and geographical context, to understand that. Because Muslim, as it was in the Middle Age for Christians, they think outside the church there is no salvation. For them it is the same now. They think Islam is the true religion. Quran is the only not falsified book, and Muhammad is the last prophet, or the conclusion of prophecy. And they think also they have to force or to attract people to be converted to Islam. The universe is Islam. This is the common feeling. But it doesn't work today, this kind of religion. They have to respect the others. I am respecting Islam or Muslim as they are, as they think, as they present themselves, but I have also right to be respected.
But in reality, what's happening is that in your case, in the case of the people who you represent, they're being forced to run away. Families are leaving, families are being threatened, families are having to leave their homes. Are you hopeful that this will end, or is this something that you see going on for a while?
I am afraid about the future of Christians if there is no, limit of this kind of operation. Then there will be no more Christians, not only in Iraq, but maybe in the Middle East, and Muslims will lose a big help, and also a component of open-mindedness, of preaching, and also of culture. So I think it is for the benefit of Muslims to keep Christians there, to help them, and to respect them, and not to assimilate Christians in Orient with what is called also the West. The West is no more Christian. There is a separation from the state and the religion. There is no official religion in the state, in the West. They should learn from that also. So we were there. We are indigenous. We are not coming from Europe. We are not a colony. I think our presence has a sense. And we feel also, people are telling us, you are flowers of Iraq, and so if you go, that will lose you. You are very, very good people, open people, and they appreciate even our not only religious witness, but also human links, relationships with everybody. We are open, and we think that everybody is a human person. As each person is an absolute value, we have to respect. And we don't put religion in everything. So I think we are helping them also in some way to understand what is religion.
Let me talk a bit about numbers. The Chaldean Church once represented almost 2 million people, but not now. I mean, how many people you believe we can say are Christians in Iraq?
No, that is it is an exaggeration. We never have been 2 million. We were about.
It was not only Iraq.
No, in Iraq and outside Iraq, we were about 1 million. Yeah. But now we are 500,000.
Only in Iraq?
In Iraq, yes.
Do you have contacts with other Chaldean communities, yes, in the Middle East? Do you travel, for instance?
Yes, of course.
Do you go to Syria, for example?
Yeah, of course. We have contact with the Bishop of Syria, but also we have 2 bishops in the United States. We have 2 bishops in Iran and.
Do you have contacts also with the Copts in Egypt? Or?
We are meeting because there are meeting, ecumenical meeting between us, and we know, we feel also the fears of others.
My question is, I'm sorry, it's a preamble to the next one, which is, if in those contacts with the Egyptians, with the Syrians, with, I don't know, people from Lebanon, from other, where do you think the Christians are living better in the Middle East? And where are they living worse? What is the best area in the Middle East?
Today,
yes,
I feel that they are living bad in Egypt. In Iraq, now the situation is improving.
In Iran or Iraq?
Iraq.
Iraq.
No, in Iran they are very fragile, small
yes,
community. But in Lebanon they are living thriving freely. Yeah. And also in Syria, the situation is much better. But you know, in the area, in the Middle East, there is an Islamic movement. Even what we call the Arab Spring. These young people crying democracy, freedom.
Are you afraid of that spring?
Yeah. From the beginning, I was telling there is something behind them, because if you see them, they are religious slogans with Allahu Akbar and democracy. It doesn't work. If we have democracy, so we have to put religion behind.
Islam is a way of life. Islam dictates what you wear, what you eat, how you behave, what you do during the day. So Islam is, in a way, more than just a religion. It's a way of life. Is that compatible with democracy, in your opinion, and religious freedom for other religions?
I think, you know, in the beginning, that was a need for the Prophet Muhammad to do that. They were Bedouins in the desert, Arabs with the tribes. So this kind of religion and state was compatible. But today, impossible.
It's a bit like the Middle Ages for the Christian faith.
Yeah, just I want to add something. Religion should be like flashes to help people, but to respect their choice and their life. Yeah,
I was saying it looks a bit like what happened in the Middle Ages in certain Christian communities, where the confusion between church and state was big, was enormous. I mean.
No, it was not normal. Now we have to understand what happened in history as it was. I am always telling my friends, imams, please learn from our bad experience of Christianity.
Yes.
Don't do the same thing we did in our history. Today, the world changed.
I had in our show some years ago Sheikh Omar Akin from the city, from the Shiite community, and he told me that the Christian community in Iraq is one of the biggest allies of Shiites. I mean, they are friends and allies. Do you think that the leadership of the parties, of Shiite parties, of Sunni parties in Iraq, is transmitting this message of friendship and alliance, or no? Or it's double words?
I think they were all over in the mosques. The imams should change their speech. Not speaking about diversities, problems between states or religions, provoking also. They should expose their religion, help Muslims to live their religion, and also respecting the others. The main problem is the interpretation of the Quran, the Holy Quran for them.
Are Christians in Iraq noticeably different from the rest of the community? Are they particularly wealthy community, or are they people like normal people from Islam?
No, we are an elite, you know. Christians are very well educated and formed from the beginning, and the best doctors were Christian, and engineers, merchants, and so on. And usually our children are going to the schools. Maybe the Muslims have not the same chance. We are minority, so as a minority we want to be also majority with our education. This is psychological, but normally they are living much better.
But you don't think that's also one of the causes why the community is attacked? Because other communities see them as especially wealthy or middle class or more educated. The same happened with Jewish communities all around the world. I mean,
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
You are not being aggressed because of your economic status?
No, I don't think so. I think the main thing is political and religious, because in the Quran they think that the true religion is Islam, and the others are falsified their books. Christians and Jews, they are polytheists, infidels, so they have. This kind of interpretation is bad, it's creating problems. We also, Christians in the Middle East, we need a reform of our liturgies, to look for a new theological vocabulary, much more comprehensible for our Muslim brothers and sisters, and also a new kind of real dialogue between churches, but also between the others. Without dialogue, there is no life. We cannot solve our problems. But when we are together, we are discussing, so we are deepening our knowledge from each other, but also building the trust. And this is very important for the future.
I hope that you find that dialogue, Archbishop. Thank you very much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
God bless you.
E na segunda parte do programa desta semana vamos às recomendações literárias.
É verdade. Olha, começo com um grande livro, grande, não só em extensão,
em tamanho,
mas em assunto. No fundo é uma história internacional da humanidade entre 1813 e 1815. E a história da humanidade, nesta altura, confundiu-se com a história de Napoleão, que conquistou grande parte dessa humanidade. Aliás, a primeira pergunta deste livro é: foi um libertador ou foi um conquistador? Porque ainda hoje se debate se este Império Napoleónico trouxe liberdade às pessoas ou se trouxe mais opressão.
E deve estar aí as guerras ibéricas.
Estão as guerras todas, entre 1813 e 1815, muitos mapas. É do Charles Asdale, que é talvez o grande historiador das guerras napoleónicas no Reino Unido, professor em Liverpool, e que tem escrito, isto tem uma iconografia fabulosa, para quem não conheça, e tem muitos mapas, como é que no fundo o mundo estava repartido na altura de Napoleão. Um livro essencial para quem gosta de história, e para quem não gosta vai começar a gostar.
Não é só para soldados e para pessoas que gostam de guerra.
Não, as guerras de Napoleão é um livro sobre o nosso passado, não tão distante como isso. 1803 não é assim uma coisa tão distante. Depois, um livro de um homem que se tornou mais conhecido talvez pelo Príncipezinho, o Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, piloto, morreu aliás numa missão enigmática sobre o Médio Oriente durante a Segunda Guerra Mundial, e o Antoine de Saint-Exupéry escreveu vários livros sobre o isolamento de um piloto. O que é que um piloto sente nas alturas? O que é que sente quando vê o mar, ou quando vê as areias do deserto, ou quando passa sobre a sua casa, sobre as suas pessoas? O que é que pensa? Em que é que pensa? Sobretudo se é um piloto militar. Voo Noturno, Correio do Sul, são duas grandes obras do Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, foram agora reeditadas na Casa das Letras e merecem uma visita, porque este é um dos grandes escritores do século XX, talvez um dos mais misteriosos.
Não teria o mesmo impacto se eu escrevesse um livro sobre o que é que eu penso quando vou na Marginal? Seria a mesma coisa?
Acho que não,
acho que não.
A não ser que tu lhe acrescentasse um mistério e desaparecesse na boca do inferno.
Olha o meu amigo John le Carré.
John le Carré. Este não é o último livro de John le Carré, é um livro já de 91. É um livro muito bonito, foi agora reeditado pelo Dom Quixote, O Peregrino Secreto. O que é que este livro tem de interessante? É de 91 e o famoso personagem George Smiley, que é um personagem da Guerra Fria, senta-se a uma mesa e tem que falar a novos recrutas do MI6, portanto do SIS, dos serviços secretos ingleses, externos, e conta-lhes o que é o mundo depois da Guerra Fria. Portanto, isto é uma conferência em que um veterano conta histórias aos mais novos sobre o mundo,
grandes histórias,
o mundo da espionagem. Ele diz,
eu sou grande fã.
O Smiley tem aqui o Smiley é uma personagem inventada que foi interpretada pelo Alec Guinness no cinema.
E agora há um novo filme.
Agora há um novo filme.
Com outro ator.
Mas o Alec Guinness para mim continua a ser o Smiley, o grande Smiley. E então ele diz assim, a espionagem é eterna. Mesmo que os governos pudessem passar sem ela, nunca passariam. Adoram-na.
Claro. É bom, eu gosto muito. Música.
Olha, a música. Falámos de uma comunidade cristã perdida no Médio Oriente. Vou-te falar de uma outra comunidade cristã que está quase em frente, no chamado Corno da África, na Abissínia, na Etiópia. É uma grande voz da Etiópia, é Gigi Shibabau, e tem um grupo chamado Abissínia Infinite. Aqui tens um ícone da Igreja Ortodoxa. Ela é uma copto-caldaica da Etiópia, tem uma grande voz. E isto é música, sinceramente, de grande vibração.
Eles não veem, mas eu estou a ver, ela também é muito bonita.
Ela é muito bonita. Já cá veio a Lisboa, gostou imenso de Lisboa, sinceramente. Nós também gostávamos muito dela.
Portanto, música da Abissínia. Fechar com o programa desta semana. Já sabe, se quiser rever estas recomendações do Nuno, o nosso endereço eletrónico, o nosso site, aliás, está aqui a passar por baixo no ecrã, e o endereço eletrónico, como sempre, é sdn@sic.pt. Até para a semana que vem.